I was just laid off. I'm unemployed. What? I had a feeling this was coming, and I was hoping I was wrong.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? It was just a matter of time.
What do I say all the time? These companies aren't loyal. I don't know if you guys heard, but Intel is laying people off again.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have problems.
Now, this shouldn't be a surprise to you. If you're coming to this channel, if you've watched this channel at all, this should not be a surprise to you.
I know.
And I know the young lady at the very first beginning, she's hurt. She thought that the company would never, ever, ever stab her in the back. She thought they were family. She thought that at the end of the day, they would choose her over someone else. No way they could get rid of her. And I'm here to tell you, these companies don't care.
Fact.
We've been through this before with Intel. I told you guys the last time. This won't be their last.
Another one. Another one.
And I'm saying it again. It won't be their last. But I know. We got to go through the details. We got to go through and I got to show you guys. I got to give you the receipts letting you know these companies aren't loyal and what you need to look for in the next coming months. My name is Orlando. Welcome to the channel, guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. Also, too, I have a newsletter. Yes, and it's free. How can you beat free? You can't. Also, if you need any type of financing that deals with commercial properties or investment properties, I'm your guy. I've been a lender for almost 20 years. And I can assist you with that. That information is in the pinned comment in the description. Guys, let's jump straight to it. Intel to cut as many as 10,000 factory jobs. One of its largest ever layoffs. One of its largest layoffs would mean there has to be another one. What could that be? We're gonna get to that. But listen, guys. Is this a surprise that a company, again, that is saying, listen, we need to scale back because these tariffs, what can we do as a company? These tariffs are kicking our butt so much. We have to do what we have to do.
The market isn't what it was a couple of years ago.
And then I think to myself, but what? Why did you cut 20,000 people last year? And then Intel goes, that was another story. What happened? It says Intel is preparing to lay off as much as 1/5 of its factory workforce in a move that will reshape one of the company's core business units. The layoffs are set off to begin in July, are expected to affect more than 10,000 employees worldwide. It says one of its largest workforce reduction in Intel history. But let me guess. I know, I can hear the people in the back. They're saying, Orlando, I get it. This is their second time in 2 years doing this, and they're getting rid of 15,000 plus people every single time. But Orlando, listen, the way the economy is going, it's pushing and pressuring. They're a great company. And at the end of the day, they want to keep the best people around. They don't care if they're paying you $400,000 and you've been working there for the last 25 years. They're not getting rid of those people, Orlando. They're getting rid of the people who are low performers. They're getting rid of people with little to no experience. You hitting it. You got to listen to this guy. And guess what? They're staying away from AI. These are the first people that get laid off. These are the individuals that come onto the internet and then say to you, I was surprised. I didn't understand that me training an AI system to do my job. I didn't realize the AI system that I built named Gerald, I named him after my dad. I didn't realize. I didn't realize Gerald was going to replace me. Now Gerald is doing everything that I taught it to do. Do you hear how that sounds? The AI system that you trained to do everything that you are doing or that you did. And you're surprised when Intel replaces 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 people with one chatbot. Not only is it a mega corporation, but it's a tech corporation. And trust me when I say this. Trust me when I say this. They will always choose themselves over you. That's not enough for you. Well, let's look at what Intel did just 10 months ago. I know. Someone told you this was their first layoff. Well, I'm here to tell you it's not.
You want me to bring the receipts? Do I need to bring the receipts, baby girl? Because I got receipts.
One of the biggest employers in the East Valley announced that they're laying off 15% of their workforce. That's about 15,000 jobs. Tonight, we're working to learn how many of those jobs are in Arizona. Intel says that their revenues have not grown as expected. Earlier this year, President Joe Biden visited Intel's Chandler facility to announce $8 billion of an investment into Intel.
This was when Joe Biden was in office. And they still laid off 15%. I can understand how people can get confused because you thought that when they said 15%, you were like, oh, they did that. This is old news. They laid off 15% in 10 months ago. And again, they're saying they're laying off another 15%. So you think that they're talking about what happened 10 months ago. No, they're just laying off an additional 15%. Another 15 to 20,000 people. And this time, it's factory workers. Before, they got rid of engineers, coders, all these other people. No one is safe. This is my point. No one is safe. The janitor should be looking elsewhere.
Wow.
You want to see more receipts and let's see what's happening in this industry. Okay, let's go ahead.
There are multiple video evidence, social media evidence.
Who got laid off yesterday. It's been a wild ride. So on Tuesday night, everybody in the company got a message from our chief human resources officer basically saying, there's an all hands tomorrow, please make sure you attend. And of course I knew, last minute all hands, never a good sign. This is not my first rodeo, so I definitely had anticipated something like this happening. There have been whispers about potential layoffs for the last month and a half, so I had already started applying. Anyway, we get onto the town hall and the CEO spoke for about 3 minutes, pretty much saying, due to regulatory changes and different needs moving forward in the business, there will be a restructuring, blah, 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 blah. You're either going to get an email to your personal email address with a separation agreement, or you're going to get an email to your work email indicating you still have a job. I was like, what kind of awful reality TV show is this right now? And sure enough, a few minutes later, my Slack gets kicked out. So I knew that I had been laid off.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
She did say in the beginning that she kind of felt it was coming. Something was different. When your manager's avoiding eye contact with you all the time, when people are, not speaking to you, you know something's up. Especially the higher management. And she said, something didn't just feel right. So I started putting in some resumes and whatnot, but she was still shocked. You know how I can tell that she was still shocked? Because she was still holding out at the very end when she was like, well, they're going to send an email and let me know if I have my job or not. Come on, man! I know. A lot of you guys are saying, Orlando, I hear what you're saying, but let's let her finish to see if she is truly loyal to this company. If she was truly prepared for this company to say, we don't need you anymore. Let's see.
It was aggravating because I was the first product manager to join the team. I had built a lot of our products from the ground up. I worked really hard. Not to say I was perfect, nobody is, but I always tried to go above and beyond. I always tried to be strategic and think from the mindset of our customers, really trying to build amazing products. And I was there for about 1.5 years, and it didn't matter, and I think it's just a reminder that it doesn't matter sometimes how hard you work, how talented you are, how much of your life you sacrifice for a company, how loyal you are, whatever. At the end of the day, the company is going to make the decision that is the most beneficial for them.
See, unfortunately, Unfortunately, she had to find out the hard way.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
And sometimes that's how it is, guys. Listen, sometimes you learn from going through the experience. But I do want to let you guys know and use this as an example. Nothing against the lady at all. But you have to use these examples and understand what some of these people are saying. They're telling you on one end, they kind of knew something was going on, but then on the other end, they let you know how they truly feel. She truly felt like there's no reason why they would let me go. There's no reason why a company would let me go. I'm such a hard worker. I am loyal to them. I put in hours. I try to be creative. I try to make them more money. And it could go on and on and on. But at the end of the day, you know who doesn't care? Let's go ahead and say this. At the end of the day, you know who doesn't care? The company.
Don't care. Still don't care. I don't care. I don't.
They care about their bottom dollar. They don't care if you've been working there for 100 years. They don't even care if you're the founder. At the end of the day, if the company isn't making money, you're gone.
You're fired.
The biggest downside in working in tech is layoffs. It's very, very common in tech to be laid off. My former company laid off 10% of their workforce today. At one point, my company was the top in its market. Like, it had the majority of the market share. It was growing the fastest. It was the leader in the field. I kind of saw the downfall, and that's why I decided to, leave last year. And so I get confused when they decide who to eliminate and who not to, because I see the people they eliminate, and it's not necessarily the low performers, from my own opinion. Some of them I get, but others I'm like, that was like the top person that was doing that job. So it's all very interesting. You never really know what leadership's thinking. But it's interesting that individual contributors at these companies, like myself and other people, can predict kind of these things that are happening. They're like, of course this happened. Like, makes sense. This is really something you need to consider before joining any kind of startup or company.
Now, what could have made her say, you know what, maybe I need to move on? Could it be 10 months ago? The company laid off 15 to 20,000 people. Maybe you would have thought to yourself, I could be next. Maybe they're going to cut me.
Use your common sense.
But I understand people who have loyalitis believe there's no way they're going to get rid of me. There's no way they're going to get rid of me. Do you know how much I make this company? I hear that all the time. Do you know how much I've made this company? I don't know. You know, so you tell me. But the question is, does the company know? Because I can guarantee you they don't. All they see is how much money they're paying you. See, I don't know if you guys know this story. There's this old folktale, right, about the first extinct dinosaur. It was called Loyalsaurus. Have you guys heard of this story? They were the first to get extinct. Loyalsaurus was so loyal to the other dinosaurs, it thought it was going to bring food back to them. And they end up dying off. Like, that's what happened. And this old folktale is just, the point of that story, guys. The point of that story, of that old folktale, is don't be loyal. Because if you are loyal, you're the first to go extinct. That's the moral of the story. Listen, I don't make the stories up.
I work for a company, a global company, and if you know anything about corporate America, it's that when you are loaded for a meeting and an email comes through that says this meeting is not needed for microphone or video, blah, 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 it's not a good sign. About 900 of us got this email, managers included, IT departments, everything. There's so many people in this email, no one knows what it's about. A year ago, we had a layoff. Not even. I think it was 6 months. Yeah, 6 months ago. We had another layoff right before Thanksgiving, and about 100 people were laid off during that time. And they had told us at that time that, you know, you don't have to worry. You, at minimum, have another year before we even consider another layoff if we even do it all.
Run. When a company tells you, hey, you don't have anything to worry about. Matter of fact, I know we just did this round of layoffs. You don't even probably have anything to worry about at all. Like at all. Like we probably won't do another round of layoffs. You definitely, let me say this again. You definitely don't have anything to worry about.
Something ain't right.
When a company says that to you, you better have already put in 1,000 applications, because I can tell you right now, they're gonna lay you off. And I'm not trying to bust your bubble. I'm just trying to let you know that the way that you think they're loyal, they're not.
It really just sucks that these huge companies who have so much money and are basically trying to make even more money by outsourcing to these other countries who they know they don't have to pay them a fair wage, and making us lose our jobs here in the United States. It's actually just disgusting. Even if I am one of the ones that are saved, which I don't think I am.
No. Unfortunately, I'm just gonna just kind of tell you how this ended. She did lose her job. The company that she said she knew wasn't loyal and that was bad wasn't loyal. Go figure. Go figure. You thought, yeah, the way that they were acting and the way they're fishy. This company's on some weird stuff. That's what people tell me. They're on some weird stuff. So are you looking for another job? Well, we're just gonna see how things shake out. Okay. You just told me that the company's doing weird things. I don't think it would be too weird if they laid you off because you saw it coming.
Get money.
My big point is be prepared. That's what I'm trying to say at the end of the day. Be prepared, guys. But I hear it. I hear people saying, Orlando, listen, this is just tech. This isn't happening anywhere else. Well, let me go ahead and just push the play button.
So I got laid off today. Yep. What I was fearing most this year, because of all the changes happening within the education system, happened. And I made a video about this a couple of weeks ago, talking about how a lot of people within the industry are getting laid off due to federal funding being cut, due to various staff reduction, things of that nature. So
I just showed you that people are getting laid off constantly, double, triple dipping in layoffs, and in the tech industry. And I just moved from the tech industry to teachers, education. The other day, I showed you P&G, which is consumer goods. Let me guess. You're going to jump to the next industry and say, this industry is safe. No one's laying off of this. So people are laying off on consumer goods, tech, retail, education, healthcare, hospitality. But let me guess. Being a car salesman, you're safe. Well, if you like content like this, guys, please join the Patreon. I do exclusive videos over there. And then also, too, you won't get all of your information from this one video. I need you to watch this video right here. Yes, this one right here. It will give you information on the housing market, financial news, and get you into your first rental property. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.